then it took my body over. Lost all my composure. Never felt quite like this before. Chemistry is changing.
Hi, this is Michael Hurley from Ghost Galaxy, and you're listening to Archon's Corner.
All right, everybody, what's going on? I am the one, the only, the W-O-O-K-I-E. It's finally time, boys. We got spoilers coming out, and to help me get out those spoilers, we got Big Z.
Hey, you're here to talk about some Keyforge.
Yep, we got the elf from the south, Southerly Elf.
Ahoy.
We have our resident PhD, Dr. Sheep.
Still no smarter.
Or should we say Dr. Nope? Nope. We got the Choke Show Drascore.
We're going, guys.
And the Ewokiest of Ewoks, Ewok Jr.
Hello, Keyforge community. Glad to be here.
So it's that time of year again, buckets to go over. But first, we want to start with the World's Invites. They're out. Sheep, tell us about the World's Invites.
Well, got an email from Josh, which said, congratulations. You have an invite. It just goes through a few of the details where if you're double qualified, you're going to have to pick one of your events. If you are in the boat like Z, where you have a buy in one event but not the other, your buy only counts for the event you won it in, as you would expect.
Uh-huh.
Yep, not all of us can have buys in both.
Well, that's because you didn't go to Canada.
Hashtag get
Canada
good.
was giving out buys.
Yeah. If I went to Canada, you might not have both buys.
Well,
Oof.
thank you for staying home.
Much obliged. What else is
No
in
problem.
the email?
Like, that's the highlights. It tells you if you got a little bit on if you have your reimbursement, that it's only flights and hotels, that and it's good Thursday through
They're
Monday
not
morning.
playing for your strip club endeavor. Is that what I'm getting
Well,
out of this?
he's flying Hooters Air.
Oh.
They're coming back just for this one trip.
Yeah, so it's got
It's a party plane.
Yeah.
he put it in 9 nice bullet points, which is World Championships are invite only. So if you don't have an invite, too bad.
If you don't have an invite, don't show up to KFC 2 Extra Crispy.
No, it specifically
Oh.
says
Oh.
there are many other events to do in addition to.
Oh.
Which I thought that part of the email was weird because only we were getting that email. So, like, why is that there?
Bring your friends.
Oh, I guess.
You must check in by 7 p.m. on the 10th, or your invitation is forfeit, and you still have to pay an event key to join Worlds. So you
Yep,
gotta have an
event key and money.
Yep.
Event
GG
key and ticket.
needs that money. They need those shards to keep
Well,
going.
something's got to make up for.
I
the
mean,
game
that's
now.
not, I don't know about the game found, so they
Yeah,
better double the shard cost.
Yep. So you're only
50 shard digital key. Let's go. Or 100.
It's a little strange that they're charging. You qualified for an event to then have to then also pay
you guys
shards.
are all you're. So it is a weekend long event, and your $75 actually gets you the decks to play in the sealed Alliance tournament on Friday. That's what you're
You
really
mean the
paying for.
You mean the LCQ,
Yes.
which I'm assuming is only going to be available to players who do not already
You
have an
are
invite.
Incorrect.
Not true.
Not true.
Yeah.
So anyone is allowed to play in the LCQ
Indeed,
and ruin someone
Yep.
else's day.
Yes, I get
Damn
to
right.
join just to crush your dreams.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Yep, I
The
like it.
The thing about
But
LCQ,
unless they're a teammate, and then we're going to totally collude and give them wins, right?
Absolutely.
No,
No, I mean, no,
No.
absolutely not. No.
so
No.
what is
against the Mockingjay on their face? If I can pull out a win.
what is interesting to know is that this is the first time they're saying you can bring your sealed decks from outside of the game center.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So-
They either need to purchase them, or no, you got to get them from the goodie bag, or purchase them there, or you
I
can
don't
bring
think-
stuff.
I
There
don't.
has ever been a requirement that the decks had to be from the 3 they gave you. It's always just been 3
Oh,
sealed.
for all of their Friday things? Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't matter what you opened them up, there's been very little oversight as far as any of that goes.
Draz, I'm going to need
So-
some of that resealing glue.
Yeah,
Although-
listeners, get your resealing glue now.
Sign up for
since
the
you
Patreon
can,
to get your free
Archon's
bottle of
Corner.
resealing glue.
Yeah. Upgrade to the next level. Get your case
Yeah,
of glue.
Yeah. This,
You could use the Z-Score Google Sheet to pre-score the decks before you go.
Mhm.
Yep.
So,
Oh
yeah,
shoot!
Oh yeah.
So-
Maybe we need to offer to sell the resealing glue through like the Game Found, like as an
Draw better
add-on.
dot cards. So
Yeah, they're not-
buy your glue here.
They're not going to get it till
Sponsor.
2024, so
Yeah, so we have plenty of time to manufacture it.
yeah,
you know.
but you need it by November, so
Yeah,
yeah.
just gotta kill some horses first.
So when people show up with absolute fire, you know exactly who to blame. It was all of us. Thanks, guys.
No
Thank
problem.
you very much.
They're not going to
You're
do
welcome.
that.
I mean, we
I-
got to make
Keyforge-
dollars somehow. We ain't getting that
Keyforge
sweet
players are way too lazy to.
We ain't getting that sweet GG sponsorship anytime soon. So
We'll buy you
I fully believe we have a
pre-resealed
great
decks.
community. But when you have stakes and allow people to bring their decks, right? There's
Yeah.
an opportunity, which is just
yeah, this is the first sealed event that actually has anything of value.
Matters.
Like winning one more WoW deck. Like if you wanted to spike your that so you could win that deck, you can have it. There is, I mean, like it's an LCQ, which then gets you into the $15,000 tournament. Like you are definitely talking about a much bigger potential prize pool at the end of the road than we've ever seen behind a sealed event before. Of course,
And that
you know,
is true, but I
have
mean,
to
like
do
most everyone
good
in our
twice.
community knows everyone else in the community. I guess it would be like a little weird if like someone we'd never seen before shows up, packs like just has pure fire for their like alliance that they make, and then go and crush everyone. But
mm.
and then go and win alliance with their alliance. Oh,
yeah, like that would raise a lot of questions. But again, like we know everyone that plays this game basically. Like I think we're fine.
I'm not particularly
I'm not
paranoid
worried.
on it either.
I'm not worried.
I'm
If this was
terrified.
magic, there would be a lot more like, "Hey guys, we need to change this right now." 'Cause
without a
that
doubt.
is a thing in that community, but that's not a thing here.
So yeah, going on the rest of these bullet points is you only get to participate in a format you are invited to. Next bullet point, if you're invited to both, you only get to play in one. You sacrifice the other to the last chance qualifier pool. First place
Which, where was that? There was a thing that said something about the remaining positions will be given to the last chance qualifiers.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Oh, we
in
haven't
some
gotten
of the
that far
other
yet.
data tracking I have been doing. First place finishers at Vault Tours and Nationals are champions. They get a first round bye if so, and this is where I get to thank Nova because Nova actually won 3 different buys and the buy doesn't pass down. So there are 2 less first round buys available in Archon than there are in Alliance because Nova won 3 of those events.
That's right, Queen Nova, wrecking shop.
And then I'm the only other person who has like a first place one to sacrifice.
Well, no
I
matter
think-
what, you're eating a bye because you can't play.
Yes, right. So I'm definitely eating one buy. Nova eats 2, and potentially we see a few other buys eaten due to international travel things. But I'm pretty sure the rest of the U.S. winners will be there. You're one of the few, Z. You're one of the few other ones who actually has to make a choice.
Yeah. There was an interesting scenario that is not covered in the hey, you made it to Worlds. Let's say let's use JR here. JR has a slot in Archon. He's going to most likely play in the LCQ. Say he ends up like first or whatever, like top cut of the LCQ. Is there a way for him to earn an alliance slot through that process?
Now, it doesn't say it in here, but I had seen some language previous where if you are qualified going into the LCQ, you cannot take another spot.
See, that's
I'd-
weird to me.
I'd
Like,
seen
'cause
some
there
language
are
like that.
players
That may
that,
prefer
like-
to play the other format
yeah,
and
like,
want to
look-
call. Yeah.
like June would have been in that boat. Like she luckily, not luckily, she earned her spot in Canada for the event she actually wants to play in. But had she not, like, she would just have this Archon slot, and I'm sure she would have gone to play Archon.
Well, the
But it would have been weird.
LCQs, are they only going towards Archon slots?
No, so
It's both.
so they're coming into this event, which I haven't got all my bullet points here. So let me finish the email quick. The next one was about travel reimbursements, which are good for airfare and lodging between the 9th and the 13th. So if you're coming, make sure you take that into account for how soon you want to fly out or fly in. Taxis, ride shares, entertainment, food, and other expenses are excluded. I think most of those things are my fault from me bombing Josh with shenanigans I suggested I could pay for.
Wah wah.
0.7 cash prizes, and you have to have a W8 or W9. So gotta fill out some tax forms if you're gonna win some money. Information on the events can be found on the Keyforge celebrations page and keyforging.com. And if you have questions, there's the ability to email Josh with questions. So that's the email.
It's Joshua. It's very formal. Not Josh. It's Joshua.
Well, I think actually based off of his thing, he just becomes J-Swa.
Oh.
We just call him J-Swa.
Is that his boy band name?
Yeah, it's J-Swa.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yep,
Welcome to the boy band.
I thought he was Ass Captain.
No, that's X-ray. That's X-ray.
X-ray.
Oh, gotcha.
I hear J-Swa speaks fluent Vietnamese.
We're hoping so. That's top secret stuff for later. Yeah, as much as we have secrets around here.
Tease.
Okay. So on to the invite situation. As my understanding is, and we don't actually have clarification on being able to change qualifiers, although I don't think they're going to permit that, because if JR, as the example, was to qualify for Alliance and choose to go over there, then they would all of a sudden have to change the number of advertised slots, and I don't think they want to do that.
What do you mean if he qualifies for Alliance?
So I already have
Qualifiers are done.
No.
At the last chance qualifier.
Yeah,
right.
So,
but how are you determining? Because it's a sealed pool.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the way it works is you play, and then they plan to know how many slots they have available, right? So say there's 4 left in Archon and 6 left in Alliance. There are 10 slots open, right? So then you're gonna play however many rounds of Alliance sealed.
They won't know that before the event starts, because registration.
No, they're gonna know that at the end of the event.
Yes.
Right. Before the event ends, they are supposed to know this, right? And they have 10 slots. And then first place, do you want Alliance or Archon? Okay. Second place, you're already qualified. Get out of here. Third place, do you want Alliance or Archon? Once all the Archon slots are full, now it's just they keep going down the line until they get that many people to agree to Alliance. So it may be that, like, if it's 4 and 6 and the first 4 people all pick Archon, the 5th place guy goes, well, I don't even want to play Alliance, so I'm not going to take one. Then, it'll just keep falling down until they fill out 32. That's how I think they're going to do it. They haven't actually announced it.
And it could be the opposite.
That sounds completely logical. So I'm going to put money that is not what's going to happen.
I mean, it could be until they fill up one of their sets. It may be that Alliance fills up first, but you're giving it to priority of who's there.
What? So. It's total false examples here. We have no idea how many slots are going on for either right now. I was actually going to jump into a couple of Discords here.
I was going to say, what if there are no slots available?
That, I think, based off of what I know, is impossible.
And we do have confirmation from Josh that, as much as he hates to admit it, Sheep was correct.
On what?
The organization of how last chance qualifiers will admit you into the Worlds.
Josh might think that's true right now. Who knows what's going to happen by the time of
until CTP sees that a bunch of dickheads are at the top, and he's like, no, we're going to do something else because I don't want those guys to play. Those guys said bad things about me.
I mean, I will be 100% honest that if someone who already is qualifies in the last chance qualifier, and at that point they determine I think the numbers are so small that it would have little impact because you're playing in one or the other, and you just shift the number from Alliance to Archon.
Well, because wasn't the idea that there's going to be 32 slots?
If you're the 10th place guy and you choose to switch, now they got to go back to the start and be like, or back to the last person who didn't have a chance at whatever you're dropping out of.
You don't. You just keep going down.
No, because
you do not have to do what you just said.
You do, otherwise it's total garbage.
That's your opinion. There's no reason you would have to go back to the top of that cycle.
Archon, if JR was 10th, the first 4 people go Archon, and then at 10th place, JR says, okay, I'm going to switch to Alliance, and now they're going to go to 11th and ask them if they want Archon, and that means 5th through 9th got stuck in Alliance because JR finished 10th. That doesn't make any damn sense.
So here's the thing.
There's nothing wrong with the scenario that you just... That is fine.
There is a lot, because I finished higher. I should have choice in what one I'm going to play in.
In my opinion, all that needs to happen is once we have the final seedings after Last Chance Qualifier, you ask the few people that it's going to impact, are you going and wanting to switch? If it's a no, it's a no-brainer. It doesn't exist at all. For the one person or 2 people it may impact, you see where their position is.
Very well, it could potentially be a lot.
Here's straight up how I would play it is don't award him until after 7 o'clock. And if JR doesn't come and take his Archon slot, well, then he's in the Last Chance Qualifier for a Last Chance Qualifier spot.
Yeah, I'm simply saying that if you see that there are 12 slots in Alliance and I am seated 10th, I can tell them, and that information can go ahead and be used before. I mean, I think this is a hypothetical that frankly isn't going to play out. But if it does for the 1 or 2 people, it would actually be a way that you could let people feel like they have more control over the event they want to play.
Okay. So as the numbers for Last Chance Qualifiers go, there were, what do we come up with? 72 original invites handed out, I think was the numbers.
For both Alliance and Archon, correct? This is total, right?
Total. And now I'm just doing total numbers. I haven't been paying attention, but I think this is good enough to get us to where we need to go. But from our knowledge, only 4 Alliance invites never got handed out because 1 tournament wasn't run and 1 tournament had 7 players. Per our understanding, I don't have perfect confirmation of that. But that is our understanding. So that puts us at 68 invites.
Hold on, he's typing. Maybe we'll get perfect confirmation.
Yeah,
that does line up with the information that I have as well.
Yes. So say we have 68 invites. That we also know that 6 people are double qualified, right? So that's 6 more invites that are just thrown in the garbage.
But do we even know how many that they wanted in each event?
32. Yes, they already announced that 32. That is published on the Keyforge Celebrations
Josh has
webpage.
said 84-80 after 2 unqualified tournaments. So you have 80 total.
Well, that totally changes. Okay, well, if there's 80, all right, then we're down to 76 or 74 because we know there's 6 doubles. I have 6 confirmed no's, which drops us to...
I'm just saying, if there's 32 slots, that means there's a total of 64 slots.
Yes, and we're already down to 68 possible
Which
seats
means
taken.
There's a very good shot that there are no slots available on one side.
Well, I have 0 confirmations that anybody from the 8 slots in China can go. And most of my others, I don't know about. Like, I don't have any
because all their decks are missing
from,
a card because the government took one.
I have little confirmation from the Dutch event, the Polish event, Italy. I haven't actually heard much from Italy if any of them are actually going to be able to make it outside of one teammate. I don't know if anybody from Italy. I haven't heard from the Greek people. Actually, I haven't heard from any of the UK players.
So pretty much all of Europe you haven't heard from, more or less.
No, I've heard from quite a few. Swedish. Got the answers on the Swedes. I got the answer on the French.
Have you heard anyone about Brazil? Because I know that they were in some restrictions.
They're in this disaster of visas too, where they may not be able to come. So based off of the people that I don't know,
Unless those marriages go through.
yeah, right. We did try to give away Ewok.
Okay. All right. So regardless, I guess right now, last chance is just going down the list, and they're going to say, which event do you want to play in? Or here's the slots I have open. Do you want Archon or Alliance? And then the rest will just have to be forced into Alliance.
26 slots that I know of that I haven't heard a yes or no on. And I'm guessing 90% of those are not going to be able to make it because they are internationals.
So I guess word on. Okay, so here's my issue. Why are we letting people who are already qualified participate in LCQs?
What else?
Why would you not?
We're
We're there.
They don't take a slot away.
Well, but that does ruin somebody else's chances of making it.
Potentially.
I mean, you play
No,
the game, you play against some opponents.
Good.
Win your
Let me
games.
knock some folks out on Friday
Goes
so I
back
don't got to
to-
deal with them on Saturday.
Yeah, it goes
mean,
back to
like,
the
it's
AC advice: be
it's a
American
com-
and never lose. Right?
This is
There's
still
our
a
advice.
competitive game, Wookie. Like, you should have to earn your slot by playing, like, not the worst people.
Battle
Right?
Well,
tested,
it's not going to be the
LCQ
worst
qualified.
people, but like it's called a last chance qualifier. You're already qualified. Hit the bricks.
Okay, maybe worse is, like, not the best way to put that. But, like, obviously, if all of the people that are already qualified,
They don't make
a
playoff
majority of
teams.
the best people wouldn't be in the field at all.
They don't make playoff teams try to play to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. We
This was like
want people
recreational.
playing
And the
this game
NFC
at
teams
KFC.
don't get to try to play a game to try to get into the
Ryan,
AFC bracket.
Once somebody's locked into the playoffs, they don't just tell the person they don't have to play anymore. They still play. And they can still end somebody else's playoff run. So your football analogy is trash. You have to give that one up.
Nope, it's not true.
Yep, dead.
So I hear what you're saying, Wookie, but I will argue that it looks at a different skill set in order to maximize what you are getting with your sealed alliance decks. And I'm interested to see what that brings. It may bring some people who, frankly, to make top 2 is a really big challenge for any of the vaults in stateside. Even top 4 that was positioned for the Italy or Shanghai vaults, like those are big ass. So I'm curious to see what people can play, how they're going to come about it. I hear the argument for last chance qualifier. I don't see an issue with it. But again, I'm on the side that I've already qualified. So maybe that's why I'm just seeing is different. What are we supposed to do on the opposite side? Just sit there and do nothing for that day?
According to the email, there's going to be plenty to do. So go do something else.
Not on Friday night. There's not plenty to do.
I
The
think
rest
this
of the
whole
weekend.
weekend.
Play in the sealed LCQ.
Go bother
Which-
the GG staff. I don't.
Which
Starts
means
at
there
8:30 in
should
the
be
morning.
something else to do anyway, because like that means it's 2 LO, I assume. I guess we
I
don't
would
know that.
assume.
Yeah, you get to play me when I land. Finally.
But like,
Create a line.
but that does mean after 2 rounds, there should also be like some kind of second Amber-ish thing to do on Friday, because that is a long time, because it starts early.
I have no idea. Just
Well, you can join the menagerie all event hours. Players, participants, unlimited.
yeah.
But we
so
don't know what that is, so
We
We're gonna
don't.
be menaging.
let's
Well,
menagerie.
Field alliance
Yeah.
groups.
I will say that
Gonna go
Josh has piped in and said last chance qualifier is 2 LO. So
Yeah,
that,
so there
that we can
should be
see.
something to do. Probably the menagerie thing.
So all other 2LO events have had second Amber. Is there second Amber on 2LO day?
Maybe.
Or on Sealed Alliance Day?
I'm with
'Cause-
them. I think they're just going to double down on whatever this menagerie thing is, and then if you're out, you go do that.
multiplayer. That's
Well, we would
No.
find out what that is if anybody
we can
pledged
reach any
to
of the
this
stretch
lame
goals.
clown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get it to what 300K before we find out what menagerie is.
Or we
We
just
don't
wait
have
a few
to.
more days and they have to release it anyways. 'Cause,
Wait,
I mean, we got
we're
to
gonna-
know November
We're
10th.
gonna find out in November, so it's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
too bad. Okay, so that's the world's invite. As far as we know, it looks like, if the 20, I'm already down to 68 68 seats taken, assuming the 26 other all international people decide to come, then they would have too many. I think that's unlikely. Even if half of those people came, that's 13 seats we go down, and we're in the mid 50s, and that leaves you 7 to 8 seats. So I'm expecting there to be 15, probably like 15 to 20 seats to fill. But
Between both events, or like that's
between
total?
both events, yeah, total.
Yeah, that's the range I had. Oh, like when we talked about the ones, I expect there to be basically half a bracket's worth of seats available, which is 16. From when we first like pre-mathed it out, just from like, even if it was, honestly, I know a lot of these people are like using the window of time as the reason they can't go, but like we know a lot of people that aren't in this country. There's a lot of people that weren't going to come anyway, even if they won the spot. Like there's a lot of people that don't like to travel here. It's just the thing. So
I am really actually surprised by the number of people not in the U.S. that have expressed that they are intending to come to this event. It is currently, of the qualified people that have responded to me, it is significantly more yeses than nos.
That's awesome. I'm excited.
So
that is actually surprising me too, because like
It also could
like I
be
said,
that
it's
the
just
people
some
there
people
to
don't like coming
respond
here.
don't.
well, the people who responded are the heavily invested people like us
Yeah.
who really want to go, where the rest of the people who qualified are not in the discords that I'm part of and aren't involved enough to be that kind of invested.
I don't know. I've heard really good things about our international community coming. I'm excited to be able to play against people that, frankly, I can only play on TCO online in real life, because there is a different component when you're playing in person. I wish that it was financially available and not a time restriction for everyone, that we could all be here. But the next best thing is that as many people as possible can be here. And so it is exciting to see the excitement of people saying, hey, I'm coming out. Let's do this.
Might have got more people to come if it wasn't Minnesota.
In Minnesota in November.
I mean, Minnesota's not a terrible, like the Minneapolis airport is not a bad airport from an international perspective. It's not
I'm talking about like
it's not bad.
Like there's a bunch of international people who won't even know what Minnesota is. Like
Yeah, they won't know what they're walking into. Like,
Well,
you know,
let's
got to be warmer than Finland.
let's give them a little bit of information. Since X-Ray's here in the audience, remember in November the weather is not usually that warm, and so you will need a jacket. This jacket we speak of is a device that goes over your shoulders and it keeps you warm.
You also need pants. Pants.
That was
are
a
good.
thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Sleeves must past your elbow.
I mean, what you did describe sounds like he's just going to show up in like a wolf pelt.
If you're telling him to
Over
wear
his
pants, you
shoulders.
might want to remind him to wear underwear too.
To be honest with you, I don't care if he wears drawers, right? Like, but at least bring pants. Like, literally, X-Ray showed up in a t-shirt, and he may or may not have had jeans. I think he was in shorts and had to run to the local Walmart to get a coat and pants because he showed, like, it started at 75, but by the end of the weekend, it was snowing. So
it was real cold.
Yes, it was real cold, and it was snowing. So, yes, bring warm clothes.
All right. And so that pretty much wraps up what we got on Worlds, right? Like, it's going to be awesome. It's really worth going to, even if you don't qualify to play in the Worlds tournament. People kind of miss it. We've talked about it a lot. There is both an Archon Open and an Alliance Open, which are going to be 2 LO events that are run just like a Vault for the most part. Probably are going to have, well, they're not cash prize, but they do have invites to the Vaults for next year.
And that's what people keep missing. Like, you can earn yourself, you could be well, I guess we'll get them for the main one too, but you can earn yourself a 2024 invite immediately if you don't make it into the Worlds of the LCQ.
Those are going to be the first people invited to
That's my plan.
Worlds.
Well,
right?
I think the people that win in Archon and Alliance actual Worlds.
But you won't know that until Sunday.
True.
Of course, the open.
They all finish at the same time.
Sunday.
Okay, so yeah, they all finish at the same time. So a bunch of Worlds invites for 24. I imagine they're going to be priced similar to the GCs, which means maybe no money, but probably some top formats and a bunch of prizes from the FFG prize vault.
Top
So-
8,
Firm
please.
handshake.
Top 8, please.
No,
No.
I got screwed on top 8 this year. Nobody in top 8 gets nothing till next year.
This
just
is for
gonna-
next year, so we're helping out. Top 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, top 8 for sure. Like, if you make a top cut, there should be
Orbital's over here
something
like,
to
oh
show.
wait, we need to give the open prizes. Damn it!
Now I'm telling you, he's going back over to the vault and he's like, "What's some of this other crap FFG's got sitting in here?"
Ugh.
Everybody's
I
gonna get
know.
everybody's gonna get a full set of the figures. I don't know.
They're all
They'll
gonna
figure
get
out
it. They're all gonna get a hug.
It's all gonna be. It's gonna be.
I'll take a
framed-
hug.
It's gonna be framed.
I'm expecting
signed
a hug
pict-
now.
It's gonna be framed, signed pictures of CTP.
Head on the back.
I
Shredder.
need to add that to the game found.
A
There
wooden
it says
nickel.
crisp high fives. Atta boy.
All right. So moving forward, we got to get into the game found quick update.
Lane found.
We are at $276,741
For
Last-
4
Is
days
that what
straight.
we were yesterday?
It
Looks
just
like
went
what
up.
we had
It literally
yesterday.
just went up a little bit. I watched it.
Like $1.
I don't know.
You're welcome. That is AC's engagement right there.
$5 of that yesterday was because my store put in for the retailer pledge.
There you
I
go.
gotta harass my guy or just do it for him.
Yeah, it turns out my store already had a game found, so they did it.
I might just
you
have to
know,
create a new email address for my
I-
game. Or
this I don't know, man. This game found is well, you guys can talk about it because I have nothing positive at this point outside of like the community needs to push their local stores to get involved in it because maybe, and I don't really know, but if they're gonna CTP is a big fan of numbers and data and making decisions based off of some of that stuff. And if they only get 37 stores interested, that is not great numbers for them to be like, let's put a bunch of money towards store stuff. So let's get those store numbers up so they know stores want to do something with Keyforge, which means us as players have to be pushing our local guys to do it or getting permission to pretend to be their representative, however you want to do it. I think I'm going to have at least 3 stores backing in my area for it.
Did we talk to our store yet about doing it?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Through email, they said they will discuss it. They didn't promise, but I have
mean-
another local store in Racine who will do it. My store I represent, they did it. So, I mean, like, I think that's really critical at this point for us is, I mean, like, the game found's a game found. Everybody's heard me complain about buying through GameFound versus anywhere else. But this is a store metric that they can use to say, like, there are this many stores interested in buying this stuff and probably want OP kits from us. So we need to put something towards that. Because right now, we got nothing. And they need to see that it's worth doing.
The problem that I have is that this game found is set up for us as players and those who are heavily invested in the community. It is not it's not reaching, in my opinion, the game store owners, the communities that are there. That has to come from us.
No, yeah, it has to be us.
But that's the problem. That's already a limited field. There has to be something
we have
from
talked
GG.
about this. Give them the answer that puts something in front of game store owners that they can actually deliver. Right? They don't have the ability. Well, I mean, I guess that is a choice. Is they could make Jeremy's new job to just sit there on the yellow pages, Google,
Yellow
and
Pages
just
doesn't
start
exist
calling.
anymore.
No. This is really
it's
important
Google,
because
and just
you're
calling up game stores and being like, "Hey, did you know Keyforge was a thing again? Hey, did you know Keyforge was a thing again?" Like, what tools are there this day and age that actually puts that in front of game store owners consistently and in a meaningful way?
No.
Like-
See, you're missing what I'm saying. We're all agreeing this is the dead horse that is beaten. That's not my issue. If this data is being used to drive what should be happening for OP, that's a real problem. And I want that stated ahead of time. That has not been stated in the past, and that's where I have an issue. We cannot be going ahead and looking at a number of clicks on websites for here is our previews, or here is what's happening on GameFound in order to determine what needs to happen.
Why wouldn't they use that as data?
They can use it as data, but it's a limited audience base. And that the game has a larger impact.
That's the definition of Keyforge, is a limited audience base. Like,
no,
is what we are.
But if anything is coming from this GameFound, we're seeing the impact of how many people were excited for the game to come back. And because we haven't had OP that is structured in the foundational OP in our stores, that is why it's one of the reasons why we're seeing this.
Have any actionable data, I think, and I don't know, again, this is a tool I don't know if they're going to have available to them, is to use the data from GameFound 1 to GameFound 2 to poll, because apparently they polled a bunch of players who said Alliance is going to give us back this game. Nobody we talked to, nobody I know answered.
Thanks, Wookie.
The Wookie, you know him.
Well, but they said talking to relapsed players or wherever they collected this data, having something to do with their junkie decks, whatever, was a thing. That was not us, not the people we talked to. I don't know where that data came from, but they say they got it. So they definitely are willing to do some kind of information like that. You now have currently 5,000 people you can ping and be like, hey, less than a year ago, you gave us money to play this game, and now you won't. Why is that? I mean, why are people not buying it? Is it, we have seen plenty of complaints.
Itself is I kickstart stuff. I know you don't do that as much, Cheap, but one of the things that you get out of a Kickstarter with a normal board game is the stupid extra things. There's some games that give you metal tokens instead of plastic tokens. Some games come with normal cardboard cutouts, and instead you get minifigures. That's pure at the core of what a lot of the Kickstarter and GameFounds do. And right now, the only two stretch goals that we have are stuff we assumed that they had to tell us eventually anyway.
Well, no, and it was never really I saw as advertised, because when the first stretch goal released, they didn't click the release, so it just said the same junk as the flash page, which is we're going to release the name of the thing, which we all kind of already knew. But it did since expand to say that the signed cards, like they had done with the Grim Reminders spoilers in the last one, basically the exact same thing. There's 250 signed AS cards coming out, and then 5 totally unique AS cards going.
But I read that to be that's
who cares
part of the GameFound anyway, not
but
you are getting this because of the stretch goal. But
that is actually how it's packaged, is that only unlocked when the $200,000 stretch goal unlocked. Now, based off of how prepping and things go, it wasn't really a stretch goal, because they'd already made they'd already had to have cards signed and made some, or that already had to be agreed and be in process, right? For that to
but they all that's for all these campaigns.
But that's where they got
know what they are.
That's where they admitted it. That's where they got their ass bit on the last one, is the later stretch goals, the language translations, and the extra stuff. They didn't have that stuff, and they got their ass bit on it. So yes, they probably are being more conservative with their big promises. But yeah, so far, this GameFound is carbon copy, change anything that said Grim Reminders or anything that said Whoa to Grim Reminders, and republish. There's
some minor adjustments.
What else do we get for stretch goals last time besides other languages? I'm trying to remember.
Unchained.
It was the Unchained decks. There was a bunch of stuff with Unchained decks. But
so maybe it'll be Unchained. That would make some sense.
I don't actually wondering where Unchained is now, because Unchained was this thing. It was a kind of a big hit when the GameFound was live, and since then I can't get rid of my Unchained boxes. After saying it was only going to be available here or there, it's basically been unlimited for sale somewhere, right? Isn't it on the Game Center website? Am I wrong about that?
So for stretch goals last time, you had some scenario. I don't know if these were add-ons or what, because some of the stuff I can't click on anymore. The Unchained decks, the token creature decks.
Or they're just the cards.
Oh,
Just
right.
the cards. You had like the playmats, which I think those were add-ons.
Yeah,
for the
those weren't
Kirac and-
stretch goals.
Okay, so but
Oh,
the
man.
next stretch goal is you can add a Dark Tidings deck to your pledge.
So
What?
So I know, Draz, you're joking, but here's the end result. When Z was talking earlier about metal tokens, that goes out to everybody. The idea for an add-on only being a lottery of, hey, 250 people. I don't know about you guys, but I had multiple pledges.
Everybody gets preview cards. Only 250 get signed preview cards.
But the signed
unsigned preview cards.
Yeah, you can't do anything with it because Keyforge is a unique deck game.
Yeah.
So 3 cards mean nothing if they're not signed.
So I have seen a lot of other game founds where their stretch goals are the art book, the signed something from it, just collectible junk that provides no value to. Like, that's not that atypical. And yes, on-chain decks are for sale on Game Center's website. So like all the exclusivity to them, like I think like the whole hope of them it's kind of like they were hot to start. Now everybody's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. We kind of had our fun with them. Like they're a neat side novelty, but
they have no purpose, rhyme, or reason.
Yeah, they were novel.
But they can't. They're not tournament
on-chain
level for
battles,
Vault 2.
That doesn't matter. It's also that on-chain battles at any events since the first couple have been really
non-existent.
I mean, you're allowed to play them. We give away a deck to the person who won the most. Like, it's like the reason to engage with it is really low too. Like, I think Unchained and Stupid Forge.
I mean, if they had kept the pricing up, it would have been better.
Yeah,
like I got like 12 Unchained decks or something for winning at KFC. It was a lot.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
And I got a set of sleeves for winning it at Gen Con, which also second, third, and fourth got 2 or something like that. Like it was the only thing to do.
Yeah, I was second. And I got exactly what you got.
But it was the only thing to do that day, so there was going to be more engagement with it because there wasn't options.
Well, there was Gen Con.
What? No, there's only Keyforge. Quit your shenanigans.
Do you see a scenario where they add Vaultmaster decks as a stretch goal to generate hype?
No, because they were very clear in language earlier that Vaultmaster decks, they never promised Unchained as being exclusive anywhere.
Yeah,
they could be Grim Master decks.
Oh.
Every deck comes with Grim Reminder.
So I think the question that we're sitting here asking ourselves is, where is the what's the engagement here? Like, what is there anything in any of this that is making us excited to engage with the game found? And I think the answer to that question is no. Like, there's no reason that like some of the cool, like I don't care if I have a signed card by Richard Garfield. That does nothing
bought one
for me.
Secondary market.
And how much did you pay for it?
Too much.
Okay. So Wookie, you say no, but I disagree. I think the excitement is you can go ahead and get your decks named again. You're going to be able to pick your 3 houses.
That's
and
cool.
And the last part was the ability to have your image put into a card. Now, it was very limited at 10 people. I don't want to talk about
this.
I understand you don't, but that's the problem. That's the problem, is that it only hit 10 people, and there could have been more. I understand why it's limited, but those were the extra changes. They were good, but the problem is it enough? Because you've also had the impact where WoW is still not in certain markets. It was very, very, very delayed versus the time frame that was specified. The impact on local OP has not been there. And so, honestly, we're in a very, very fast economy and fast world pace.
We're in an extraordinarily down economy, too.
But what I'm saying is that people move on. They've moved on to other games. Right. One of our locals on Tuesday, one of the guys who played with us, is in the miniatures again. And that's where we are losing people. And so my issue is that if we are a small niche group, we have to expand. We have to be able to get out. Otherwise, we're just going to keep, with the attrition, we're going to keep losing players until.
Correct.
Yeah, this is nothing we haven't talked about 10 times on this show.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. I think we learned like name decks was really, really cool to begin with, right? Like,
Still is.
I get to have my name on a deck. But then I think a lot of people learned that there's still gonna be crap. Like you're still like it's
Yeah.
still procedurally
I
generated.
think picking the houses is really cool, though. I
Right.
like that.
I
I
think
do
it's
appreciate
phenomenal.
that there's
Yeah.
step there.
Right. So,
That-
but
That
again,
isn't a big enough step to bring me back into it.
but again, I think most people now realize that it's still procedurally generated, so there's still the opportunity for junk, right?
Well, it's
so
a
now it's
novelty, right? Like,
right.
it's-
It is a novelty, and
If you
exactly
care
that.
about that,
It's
you
a
care about that.
novelty, right? So like that's not going to get me to get on board with this because it's a novelty. Same thing with the poster. The poster is kind of meaningless. There's no like, okay, I got a poster with some cards on it that my wife's not going to let me hang anywhere in my house. So it'll either get thrown away or rolled up or something like that. The mats, I guess, cool, but like, how many mats y'all got now from the last game found?
Still haven't taken the plastic off of a single one of the custom mats I got in the last game found. They're
Okay.
all still just wrapped up exactly how I got them in a corner. And as I said during that whole last game found, like anything but a mat. So I think
So-
the custom name deck is something important to keep in
Yes.
their direct funding to GG plan. Like, I think this is an amazing thing. And as people go forward, being able to get your own custom name deck is a very cool thing. I would personally like to see it as a Game Center thing where you just go there. It's 100, whatever the Game Found pledge is, right? It's $160. It's basically the exact same thing on the Game Center site. You put it in, you put in your deck name. 3 to 6 weeks later, that pile of stuff shows up at your house, right?
Or make it OP, right? You have to
well,
have
whatever.
play a certain amount of OP, and then you can order a name deck.
You're
Regular
that-
occurrence,
you
then
are
why support the game
jump-
found? Then it isn't.
Well, as you all know, I am absolutely opposed to them continuing game founds. I think it's
Well,
one of
right,
the worst things. I don't have a problem with like what Wizards of the Coast does, where there are certain things you basically only buy directly through Wizards of the Coast. It sucks for stores, but it's okay for them to have some of that stuff. Like they need to make money too. I don't have a problem with GG making money, but as we have beat the dead horse here a whole bunch, there's no OP, there's no reason for stores to be involved. That's a problem. And when we're seeing, if you guys are watching the Reddits and the Facebooks, there are consistent posts every day of where the hell is the OP, which I spent all of last game found saying, show me the OP. Like, I don't care a single thing. I'm still kind of on the boat of like, I don't need more decks until I know what I'm doing with them next year. Like, we know there should be Worlds next year because they're saying they're already giving out invites. Everything else right now is
But here's the other problem I have with that. Okay, we know there's Worlds next year because they're giving out invites until that changes. There's been too many times we've
There was a whole OP
things.
plan that we heard about last year.
That's what I'm saying. There's too many times now where GG has put things out there to just have them reeled back, reeled in, changed.
Sure,
But Wookie, what's your
But
No.
if they don't put anything out there, then there's nothing to reel back either. Like, that isn't better to just have nothing.
I understand, but Dan, you're missing something. Credibility in your word counts for something. When we say that we're only going to do one game found and now we're on 2, you've really hit
and not only
many
on 2
of the different stores. When we go ahead and say we're going to have this by a certain date, and then instead of just, hey guys, we're running into some issues, it's going to be delayed, which is what happens with many other game found or Kickstarter issues. Oh, wait, we're going to change the date. We'll actually deliver this after. There's too many times looking at what was announced for KFC.
I'm confused what you're saying. You're just saying like they fucked up, you're done?
No.
I'm
saying
here.
What are we supposed to take it on? Like you're saying like all these things and we can make these assumptions, but we can't assume anything. I think that's the ultimate issue.
You guys are taking some interpretation. Like, we can't. You are 100% right. We have learned from this company that anything they present to us, you
take with a grain of salt.
You question a little bit, right? But if there
A little.
That's what I was going to say. A little. A lot.
If there is nothing, then you have absolutely nothing, which is where we're at right now, right? Like,
While we're extrapolating things out, I am glad to see that they are taking the step to reach out to stores, but it is unfortunate that it is also only, stores within the current Keyforge
Wait.
circles.
What do you mean reaching out to stores, Elf?
They're not reaching out to stores. They're letting stores reach out to them.
reach out to them. Yeah.
But,
Right.
but they're
But
using
they're
using it. Yeah, they're using it as a way for
Asmodee,
communication.
Like a lot of stores ran into issues with Asmodee in the last.
I agree with that, but we need to clarify what you just said though. Like, is GG reaching out to the stores?
We don't know that.
Yes, that
what
is
could
my
be.
point.
They could
Is
least-
be, but
Jeremy
we don't know.
sending this game found out?
Well,
to
if
multiple
it's
name
anybody,
stores?
it's Janet. Janet's reaching out.
Yes, is Janet of Ghost Galaxy sending emails to the top 100 major stores in our country?
And
'Cause
anybody
if
who's
Janet
ever been,
is,
anybody
Janet
who's
sucks
ever,
at her job because there's only 38 pledges.
Well, because here's the deal. Because anybody in sales knows that sending emails is the most useless thing you can ever do because they're so easy to delete. It is a useless
No,
portion.
well,
Yeah, pick up the phone. Then.
Time to
Fine.
make some
do,
calls.
do the job.
we all have agreed here many times that we do not understand their current marketing campaign, which is nothing more than, hey, those of you who've already spent some money on Keyforge, here's a chance to spend some more money on Keyforge. That is the marketing we've seen, although some people have been seeing on the Facebook and Instagram that if you already care about Keyforge, you might see an ad saying the game found for Keyforge is up.
Right. If the algorithm applies to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I like JM's comment. If only we had a list of stores that have held Keyforge events in the past, maybe something linked to a store locator at the Master Vault. There you go.
Yeah, they have this data. What I am saying, it is not Dan's job. It is not my job. It's not Draskor's job to go harass someone that doesn't even know how to use a computer to make a game found to pledge for this.
And not
There
only
is
that,
someone else employed to do this job.
we have been going to the same store since at least January of this year for Keyforge,
Sure.
and still asking them to put down $5 is we're talking about it.
You are correct. They did not reply to me like, oh yeah, not a problem, we'll do that. They said the managers will discuss what they want to do with that game found.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah,
the response I got.
I mean, stores are very leery of crowdfunding. They see it as direct competition, right?
It
So,
It is. It's junk.
It is.
so like,
It's not how they see it. It's just
It-
fact.
It is clear though, back to where I was trying to go before you guys keep driving off cliffs complaining that they're not doing anything, which you're not. But the things that I've seen is that
You are
there's a bunch of
100% correct.
complaints about no OP. There is a very large number of people who are being like, shit, I still haven't got my last one. Why the hell would I pledge again?
And
Like,
there are
and-
stores that don't really know Ghost Galaxy that might be like, why the hell should I give them $5?
Well, that's the game found clearly explains that.
Well, yeah, but let's say it's Candyland scenario, they are cold calling a store. That just sounds like a scam.
No,
Hey,
that's
give us $5. We'll give you access to our
That-
channels.
that's when
that doesn't go over well.
That's what I was saying about JR and saying there is no way to that I can think of, not a marketing person, not that smart about this stuff, but there's no way that I can come up that says this is a way to get it in front of stores so they will pledge. Because
Right.
you're right. Any cold email is just junk. Just immediately you
If
delete.
it
'cause
even
you get-
hits the inbox, a lot of the time
Right.
it just goes right to
So-
spam.
That's email spamming people who aren't already invested in your thing and looking for emails with your name in it. Total waste of time. Just gets deleted. So how do you get this information in front of game store owners? We've talked a little bit that we think the trade magazines are a thing. I don't actually know if game store owners still look at that crap or not.
Nobody reads magazines anymore. It's 2023.
That could be true. There's
Inquest
just
doesn't exist anymore.
Inquest was never a trade magazine anyway.
Well, whatever. You get my point. A gaming magazine, whatever.
Yeah, no,
Take-
there's
take your pick.
Game Trader is still a magazine that I know they get and we page through. But the whole I don't know, marketing in this modern world of so much information being bombarded at you constantly is very, very hard.
Well, let's sit down. Let's sit down, right? So they want.
No, we don't want to talk. We're not going to solve their marketing issues.
Well, I mean, we want retailers.
Unless you'd like some consulting for a small
fee. If they didn't use the P Hub, we're done. We gave them the best idea. They didn't use it.
OnlyFans P Hub. Well, we want players.
I wouldn't know if they're advertising on P Hub. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All they have to do is deep fake Taylor Swift one time, and it's done. Keyforge will be the most sold product of all time.
Well,
all right. Here, I got two relatively easy things that GG should do.
If William Dafoe is one of them, you're off the cast.
If what's that?
If William Dafoe is one of these things, you're off the cast. Just
actually,
I have one. He's two.
Let's go, baby. I've got 3 ideas. so 2 ideas. Okay. So if we remember last campaign, right, they had the Savior decks, and there were a lot of folks like myself who just got the one that came with it and wasn't like, I'm gonna pay the extra however many bucks per deck to do this. If afterwards I had talked to a number of folks and myself saying, oh shoot, if I had realized how cool these look, I would have bought a few more. And
sure.
I think there's other folks
we've all agreed to that.
So show us some really sweet glamour shots of these Awakening decks. Get me to click add to pledge and add a half dozen to my pledge because I think they're that sexy. Post some pictures, get me excited.
Awaken your interest.
Yes,
exactly.
The Awakening deck is the only thing that's got me even thinking about it, and I'm wondering, do I get it if I do the $5 game store pledge and just get one of my local game stores to get put on a mailing list and delete, right?
Yeah.
So what I think
it for me, because this is the only thing in this that's unique to this that is interesting.
So what I think is interesting, looking at the actual Game Found campaign, clicking on the Awakening Special Edition deck, you see the outside blue wrapper. You can click over because there's 2 images. It does not have the unique outside lightning, I guess. So the graphic design that was on the outside of I Save Keyforge
might not be done.
Well, it doesn't.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like again,
these are not. But
it's a missed opportunity.
Show me something sexy. Yeah,
I agree with you guys, and like it's funny, only in our Discord, but I haven't seen a ton of love for the Flumph.
No, because it's ugly.
I'm excited. I'm gonna,
I don't think it's that ugly.
It's ugly.
I just don't care about plushies. Like, who the hell wants these stupid orange things sitting in my house?
How is it not the fish?
Too. I'm with you,
It should have been the fish.
Yeah, I agree.
Fish would be cool. Flumph is cool. I like the plushie.
That could have already been like sitting on some
blorb,
factory, like that could have already been done by FFG, where they already had like the whole pattern and nobody ever placed the order, and they're just like, oh yeah, we'll take some of them since it's already ready to print.
More plushies is just the right answer, objectively.
I disagree. Like, could care about ever getting another plushie in my life. Dog toy.
All right, so here are some things that would get me interested and get me to pledge. I'm going to put it out there. I'll put these out there for free.
No multiplayer format.
Not asking for a multiplayer format.
Okay.
Specialized keys. Something that is specialized to this Game Found that I can use to play out and about in my local scene and at, Worlds or a large event. Any specialized tokens, to be honest with you. Give me anything. We still to this day do not have any sort of acrylic as far as I am aware. And somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong right now. We don't have an acrylic ward or an acrylic enrage token.
That is correct.
You have an awesome, or at least you did have an awesome little partnership with a certain company called Luxury Playstyles, where I'm sure something to this measure could get done to where we could add it to these pledges. At least you did. I don't know what happens.
Those are very expensive tokens.
I understand, but I'm sure
worth it.
I'm sure we could have a small discussion with Matt and find out a more economic version of said tokens to make. I know it's not. I know it's not what luxury playstyles likes to do, but you do have an in there with somebody in that world who could possibly make you some form of economical token set. And if there's one thing I do know, Keyforge players go stupid for hard acrylic / metal tokens.
Yeah. I think I don't think you're missing there. I still think, and we talked to Josh about this, I think they're missing out. Like, a lot of players still use the acrylic amber that came from the first couple of vaults. Like, and in more colors.
I still have them.
That would be something like, so I was suggesting maybe for the vault seasons or whatever, like have colored tokens you give out for those, but then game found, like have even, you're right, like one of the stretch goals, like if you're in this, you get 6 of these super deluxe sparkle versions of them. They can still be acrylic. They should still be the same size. They should still just stack with the other ones. They shouldn't be something where you're like, these don't belong with my other tokens. But yeah, like those acrylic tokens have always been very popular. There's still a secondary market for them. Like, and they're just, yeah, they're gone. Maybe that's part of why there's a secondary market, is because they don't just keep flooding the market with them. But the acrylic tokens have always generally been appreciated outside of those of us who have spent too much being all on the really fancy tokens.
You had me at sparkles.
Well, I just think acrylic game pieces, like we go goo goo gaga for new game pieces.
Well, and the other thing that's sweet about those versus my custom deck or custom mat that I don't care about is I can use them forever in every
no matter what I'm doing.
Game of Keyforge I ever play, where the mat, the deck, like I suppose, yes, you can technically use the mat forever, but not once you've had 3 of them. Now you can only use 1 at a time, really. So like, yeah,
for WoW, you could probably use 2 or 3.
Well, sure. But
Just miss
yes,
each other.
I'm totally with you in that the tokens are really the, like, it is the one bit that I can carry from every game to every game and always have to show off as I got them for whatever reason.
All right. And not only that, something that was extraordinarily popular the first go round, sleeves. Now, don't use the crap sleeves that FFG did.
Yeah.
Please do some
No
research
Gamegenics.
into much better sleeves. Actually, the Gamegenic sleeves aren't bad. It's whoever they used for that first batch of sleeves.
No,
they are trash.
those, well, the Vault Master ones were made by Gamegenic, and they're also trash.
Well, I think that's because they followed the same pattern that they were using. Just go talk to Dragon Shield. Somebody make some nice sleeves.
So I am not going to be a backer of sleeves because they wear out and you throw them away. So I've never been a big fan of paying. I like a premium sleeve, but I don't care about going to that next level of crazy custom sleeve because I know I'm going to wear them out and throw them away.
Fair.
That's where I am. A lot of people really love sleeves, so
I do think sleeves would be a good one.
I think they're good because, like, we have a lot of decks that we still love that we play quite often in person. At least I do. I would put those kinds of sleeves on those decks. Like, you can put something fun on Square Bus, right? Like,
yeah.
The other thing about sleeves is they're expendable. People need to buy more.
Yeah, there is that. Just the whole fact that we talked about how many times we talk about, like, you made this sweet token art. Why is there not sleeves with the token so you know that they're that token when they're, and that still doesn't exist?
How about
that's just another, like, just failed.
Make a deal with Burger Tokens and get boxes, those little deck boxes, those hard plastic deck boxes that are clear, the Burger Tokens, but they have like house icons printed on them. So like you got to get the ones with the right combo of house icons for your deck, like stuff like that. I don't know.
Fired.
Other things that were extraordinarily popular.
That was a good idea.
Believe it or not. This one's going to be more tough, but any sort of clothing item. The shirts, shirts were huge. The sweaters were huge.
A place to do a clothing order, GameFound is actually sort of one of your better choices because you can order exactly what you freaking need.
Right.
You don't have to do the because your typical order when you go and order, you're like, okay, we want this shirt, and they're like, okay, you order them in, you get 2 mediums, 6 larges, 4 extra larges, and 2 double X's, and that's how they, that's just how you often order shirts. They just come in these set size bundles, and then you end up with, you see how clearance works. There's always a bunch of smalls because nobody can wear them, right? Like there's only 4 Ewoks in this world, and there are a lot of sheeps. So like that is a thing where if they did it here and it was game found and they picked a higher mid quality clothing provider and they go like, okay, I need exactly this many, rip them. Then it's just back to, it is a very manual handling project. They got to get all them things back, and then they got to be like, all right, this box needs this size. But then they got to deal with that. Like, there's always that catch to every time you add that level of customization. Of course, they clearly like to do this because they're going to do custom printed decks, which means they got to go to the pile and find the exact right printed deck. Then they got to go to the poster file and find the right poster. Then they got to go to the mat file and find the right mat. Like, so they clearly already like doing this.
But guys, how could you mess that up? It's a giant picture.
I'm just saying, like, there's things that
Don't
the
tempt them.
community does go goo goo gaga for, and I think the 3 things that I just listed out, number 1, are significantly easier to do than custom name decks and everything else, and it would entice me to do things.
You miss the...
Which one did I miss?
You miss that they like to do things that they print and make the money off in all steps. So Ghost Galaxy plays Artiforge to print the deck, so their company makes money twice.
How much? Okay.
They don't have the shirt to printer, right?
A sublimation printer will cost you about $1,000, which I'm going to tell you is probably cheaper than anything you ever bought. And you can buy
now
shirt
you gotta
presses.
have somebody standing there and doing it, man. You think this is all just like easy, cheap, and quick. They couldn't even pack decks right, and now you're gonna hire some other scrub to press shirts. Like you're asking, I really think you're asking too much. Like,
guys, it's really hard to match those pictures.
Whenever you think of anything, think of the man hour that it takes to do it, and if you add more than one, take it right off the damn list. Because,
not only man hour, but the pay for that skilled labor.
Well, except that's the problem, is like they're going to pay unskilled labor, and it's going to take 3 times as many man hours to get it done because half the stuff goes in the garbage because they didn't do it right. It's, like, anytime you add more man hours, I just don't see it as being very viable.
Good. All right, item 2.
Oh, we're still on your shit? Oh, God.
Yeah. Item 2.
Yeah.
Vaultmaster decks. They need to do it.
No.
They need to do it.
I don't know if more decks is the key. Like,
yeah, give people
Foundmaster decks, game
something.
Grandmaster.
And that doesn't sound good.
I don't know. Vaultmaster, and you can only add a certain amount.
Master.
The number you can add goes up based on what pledge level you are in. Right? Like milk us for something. Jam's excited, I can tell already.
I would be more excited for the tchotchke stuff than I would be for more decks.
I mean, it would.
I mean, me too. But we already know that we already know that they want to only do stuff that they can make in house. Which there's a wisdom to that.
Okay, fine. Now, buy a cricket. CTP when you're not busy. Fire off a few tokens. You're like,
buy more equipment. Train another person on how to do something.
Is literally $100 at your local Michaels.
It's not worth fucking around with for some janky shit on the side. Like they want to be more than just like, hey, look, and then
after you're done with that, after you're done,
cups from spreadsheet, is that good enough? Like, no, it's not.
After you're done using it to print out Ember and all the acrylic tokens, you can use it to print out tokens for another company.
That is not a cricket. That is a significantly bigger investment.
Okay, then I mean I don't know what the CNC.
Hey, I am not opposed to them investing in some sort of equipment that prints and makes tokens or game components, because that seems like
that seems right in their wheelhouse, does it not?
What they're doing, but like they don't have it currently. So, yes,
They didn't have the machine.
They
They didn't have the machine to package decks back in the day, but that didn't stop them.
Didn't have the plastic to put in the machine.
That's what I was saying.
For quite a while.
I'm saying, but it didn't stop them from offering it.
I mean, sure, but it also got them in hot water, and then they communicated it wrong. You know.
So who here has actually backed? Southerly, you backed.
Yes.
Draz, you've backed.
Of course. Come on, get on this ship. Let's go, guys.
And the rest of us have not.
Well, I'm only off because I haven't had time to do it yet.
I'm
so
still
I'm
you
not
haven't
doing it.
done like
Do it right now,
I'm still pissed about that. Like, I need time.
Well, I understand where you're at, because like the only thing in that game found that like you basically don't already have or care about sold out and you can't get. So all the rest of it is.
And I said I've been wanting to be a card in this game like 2 years ago on our stupid cast, and here we are, the one shot fucked.
I just,
more,
like I've told you, nobody actually listens
right?
to this show.
It's just more friggin' decks, and like a lot of players are want to open decks to play them and not just crack a billion. I mean, there's still plenty of players who just crack decks and never do anything with them. Like having a billion more decks that just go in the closet, because we know that's what happens with most Keyforge decks. It's just boo.
I love this game. I love this community. I'll go down with the ship. I'm sad to see that we are not investing, and by we, GG is not investing back in the game. That's where it's sad. Yes, there was a monetary amount that was put in. That's for a very select group of individuals. I want to see the overall amount, and that comes with OP. That comes with investment. I'll go down with the ship, but it makes me sad to see an investment in, frankly, tools, machines that can be used for other business ventures in the future. And I feel
they're also used for Keyforge.
I hear that, Southerly, but I'm going to be honest. Things that I've seen, decision models that have been taken up, and I'm not behind the scenes, but it leads me to think that it is not a long-term plan, that it is a short-sighted piece. And that's disappointing. I think that someone who's truly passionate about the game can balance the amount that was put in, especially knowing the amount that we raised over $1 million. There's a substantial amount put into machinery that some of that needed to be put into developing an actual plan and communicating and working with stores.
My internal spreadsheet still says $1 million was not this amazing amount of money to run a game off of. And
yes,
there just wasn't. I don't know what there was for boxes sold after sales, but I personally did not go through.
My store keeps selling out immediately. Like they can't get any more now. Like I don't know what else.
I hear you, Ewok, but I'm not sure that that's that case.
Well, that's the problem. Is
they've
none
lost
of us know
credit.
anything.
Right. We have no information. Yeah,
they've lost credibility. That's what you miss. Like when a business loses credibility, when other people have options to move on to other games, when you've already had issues from FFG previously, like. There was a large contingent that came back.
I
and
still don't
this.
get what you're saying here. You're saying like they suck, but I'm still here. Like what are you really saying? Like I don't understand. Like I know clearly what I'm saying. I'm saying like I'm not going to back this game found because they haven't delivered enough for me to do with it. But I'm already so invested in this game. I'm not going away. But they're not getting more money out of me until something changes, right? Until I know why I'm buying more decks. Like, I'll continue to buy single decks as long as I have local play, which is totally supported by ourselves. And the only thing I get out of that is hanging out with you guys. There's no prizes. There's no nothing. But, like...
I am the prize sheep. What are you trying to say?
Well, you're not wrong. Like the fact that the
Yes.
people that I like to hang out and talk with show up and play card games with me is the prize. You're right. That is why I'm still there spending money on a game that doesn't provide anything else to me. I've always thought as hobby dollars and not that. But like I don't understand why you would be backing a game that you have no faith in. Like why would you give them significant more amounts of money?
Because I love the community, and this is my friend group. This is my
But you're not-
socialization.
but then give
Same
dollars to the
reason why I'm here.
community. Give dollars to the community then. Don't give dollars to.
Have I not invested in
Yeah.
the time and group? Sure,
Send,
No,
send
you
me
have.
some PayPal dollars.
But I'm just saying, like, why if you're saying like you're not fulfilled, why keep? I mean, it's like buying Pizza Hut keep buying Pizza Hut pizzas, but hating Pizza Hut.
It's like, yeah, Pizza
But
Hut sucks, but it's
But
the
it's
only
the-
pizza
but I like
place near
pizza.
me, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep buying it. Like
That's-
I mean,
No.
I understand that.
This is what our podcast has been about for a very long time. We will provide feedback to try and make it better. And I do believe that GG has done that with our Vault tours that are there. They've improved as we've gone through the season.
Oh yeah,
So,
this
I
season
still-
has been
still-
great for us. Those of
But-
us who travel and will pay dumb amounts of money to play this game. It's
They're
been
located in the U.S.
and located in the U.S. It's also been great. It's also been great to be near Canada. But
Thank you, Canada.
like yeah, like they have not delivered across the board. My biggest hope is they go, well, there were 6,000 backers and $1.1 million in a game that they know they didn't advertise, that they, whatever problems, whatever, and they're like, and then they can take this data and be like, well, what we did over the last year turned our $1 million into 275. Okay, so maybe $400,000 we're hoping when this is done, right? And they go like, the decisions we made did not lead to significant growth, and they decide it's worth another year of decisions and trying something different. Because like, and I really don't believe me backing this game found makes a one bit of difference whether on these decisions. Like this is where like my little bit of money does not matter in this, but like that they say we need to make some different decisions because there are clearly another 5,000 people we can get giving us money if we present them something that will engage them, and it's clearly not this game found, and they can take the data and be like, well, people were interested in saving Keyforge and getting back in, but then they need to find the answer on why people didn't reinvest this time, which I really think most answers will be because the same kind of answer I'm giving, which is, what do I do with more decks? There's, unless I'm able to go to Vault Tours, there's nothing significant to do with them. And then you have the other 20%, which are all the people being like, well, GameFound was a damn disaster last time. We're just not GameFounding again. It's not that we don't want to buy more Keyforge, but we're done dealing with GameFound style distribution of stuff because it was just not done well. Things are all over the place. We gave you a lot of money and things were not delivered in a satisfactory manner. Like there are those two things. There's a badly produced game found, whatever, badly delivered game found is one side of it. But then clearly most of those people from the numbers we got were in America, had an opportunity to go to Vault Tours, and are not rebacking right now.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, the bottom line is if they want to start moving product, they need to get Keyforge into stores. And to get in the stores, they need to give people a reason to play it in the stores.
I agree. That's what I think it is.
Yep.
But right now,
But I don't have anything more than 7 posts and gut feeling.
see, you asked why I back at this point. Back because I love the community, and frankly, I had WoW that I backed, that I brought, so that if people didn't have their own GameFound campaign, we could play. Because right now, that's my concern, Sheep. Whether you realize it or not, I don't have faith that our stores, even with us pushing, are going to be able to get product, let alone in a timely manner. We saw a 5-month gap.
Who are you
from when
worried
we
about?
had
You
it.
worried about me not having Grim Reminders decks to play with? You know the 5 people who are going to show up to the store. There is no 0 new blood. And this game found on the way it is currently going, and 37 stores backing isn't going to deliver those players either. Like you're backing for people who there is still no message getting to them to come play Keyforge. That you're like that. I don't know. I mean, like
You are the community sheep. It's you. It's
Okay.
Wookie. It's
No,
Loki.
Like his
us.
point stands though, Jared. Like 37 is not even one per state in our country.
I'm well aware of that, but what I'm saying is this is my social outlet from being able to talk here and to be able to go out once a week to see my friends. Have I been blessed to be able to go out to vault tours and be able to have wonderful weekends with some of these people? Most definitely. And I enjoy and cherish that time. But if that means right now that for a while we were not going because there were no events, there was no product that we could have, and there was really no purpose then for going. Now we have a few people who are here. I would prefer to go ahead and have some of it, show the store that we're interested. I don't even care if they're going to go ahead and take the product from me so that we can continue to run events. But right now, I don't see, outside of connecting a few stores, maybe it's just a very localized.
Well, that's how my store survived as far as like we played either bi-weekly or weekly the entire time, and it has always been through product that I owned. Even now, like the store's out for whatever reason, they can't get more. They said they had got a shipment in, and it ended up being one single display. It ran out the very next Sunday we played sealed, and now we're back to using my stuff. And like basically all the stuff that I bought has gone to that store.
Just ordered yesterday and got confirmed.
Okay, so I'll talk to him again.
Maybe there was a restock. I don't know. Again, like we are very aware that Asmodee is a trash shoot to deal with. Like like you would think if Asmodee had good sales rep, which they don't, that your store who has been like, can I have Keyforge? No. Can I have Keyforge? No. And that they got Keyforge, that sales rep be like, I got Keyforge. Do you want some? Because the sales reps probably do have some amount of commission in their sales, but maybe they don't at Asmodee. I don't really know. Which means they really don't care.
Asmodee reps, you should know, they're not salespeople. They're order takers.
Yeah, like, but our store has sold literally every single deck through the sales counter that has ever shipped to that store.
If for us at our store, because there's a box there, and I've thought about it, but I'm like, no, we need that for sealed play. I haven't bought that because it's like, I don't know if we can get more.
Yeah. The reason our store has not sold more is because we don't want to take it all off the shelf and, God willing, Jesus willing, somebody comes in to buy a Keyforge deck. Like, we don't want it to not be there because those of us who don't need more bought them all. Like, there is a serious thing where we restrict how much we're buying there because, we want to leave it on the store shelf.
Right. Jam says the reasons they weren't able to do store OP going this year because the delays in WoW production, no displays means no sealed events. The question is, we
have had decks now for several months.
I don't think that I don't think that the reason we haven't had OP is because we can't have sealed events. Like that's sealed isn't even one of the major formats in this game. So.
Oh my gosh.
Want to sell product?
Calm down, Dress. Calm down. Maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll change. We all hope that sealed is an integral part of OP next season.
You like money? Levels. Bring back sealed. We'll buy it.
All right. It's not about that. Even if you like money, like, do you like your player base? Like, this is what they want.
This again,
DePapa, we hear you. Like, nobody's local stores most places local stores are not building a ton. Some people are having more success.
I mean, as we were walking out this Tuesday, the guy's like, oh, did you hear about the new shipment? And we stayed to listen, and he told us about Lorcana.
So, but the stores that are expanding, it's probably 100%. They've got a very excited player who is very invested in trying to push their thing, which at this point, I think Ghost Galaxy is failing to use the community in that regard. Like we're doing it purely out of the love of the game,
right?
Which we have a ton of, but like we're also not given anything to work with, right? It's
All right,
just
give us-
whatever we can come up by ourselves, whatever I am willing to cough up out of my own pockets to make these events happen at stores.
All right, make
It's silly.
all right, so make an add-on where we can buy a
OP kit?
store starter
A community
kit.
runner
OP.
kit.
Yes. And I get stuff that then I can take to my store.
I would back that. I would do that.
And
that was a promise in the original thing. There was the key bringer, key assaulter, key
assaulter.
Wait, what?
Yes, let's go key assaulter.
right? Which was meant to be like, they said community members are going to be able to buy it. Like it wasn't going to be a store only kit because they know that it isn't just stores and there's a lot of community run stuff. But you know, that didn't.
I
That-
might
that
order a key
didn't
assaulter pledge on name alone.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was key bringer, but
Yeah.
yes, we all get what you can.
All right. We have been extraordinarily long-winded here, and we have spoiler cards to go over.
Oh, yeah.
still.
Then we only do ours today.
Yeah, I agree. Let's only do ours today because that's we've already been extraordinarily long-winded on this. But our spoilers we got from GG, we have to give. a big thank- Oh yeah. Go ahead. Do your obligatory spoiler warning.
All right. Thank you for staying with us. If anyone's actually still with us, we know we've been a long time, and we've probably said the same thing about 15 times that we've already said in previous casts. But we appreciate you for listening. If you would like to hear more of us, sign up for our Patreon. But for the rest of the cast, we're going to talk about spoilers from Grim Reminders. It's looking pretty spicy. And the two that we're going to give to you today, and it is only two, are our Archons Corner exclusive ones. So here we go. Wookie, kick us off.
All right, coming up, make sure, number one, thank you to GG for providing us with these spoilers. We greatly do appreciate it. Number two, go check out the video if you want some images to see. Short video, 3 minutes. You can go over to our YouTube. Check that out, Archon's Corner. I'll probably be posting them all over the social medias too. But first up, we got Forgotten Guardian. He is a 5-power untamed creature elemental. Play, purge a card from a discard pile. Scrap, shuffle a purged card into its owner's deck.
This is a rare.
Purge recursion?
He is a rare. That is purge recursion, sir.
Why is this a rare though? Like,
because do you want that much purge recursion?
I mean, yeah, like the
Yes.
purge pile's
yes, like I want this at common.
Yeah.
Give it to me uncommon.
Yeah,
Like,
even at common,
it's not OP.
30 or 40% of its plays are going to be for nothing because there is nothing purged in a game. Like, and for
that's the
instance,
that's the
the
scrap
scrap
effect.
That's
So
not
the
the
play,
play.
yeah, the play is purge a card from a discard pile.
okay,
so
sorry. The scrap effect, like half the, like it's often not going to
Well, but what
have
I'm saying,
anything to target.
if this is at common, it would create like a way to get some interesting level recursion because you could like purge your own card and then scrap one to shuffle back into your own deck. Like there could have been interest. Like I think it's an interesting card, but like, why is it rare? Like
Yeah, that's what I'm agreeing. Like I don't see the reason that this thing should be rare.
like it's I don't know. It's one of those like weird rares. Like what's a weird rare that kind of has a neat ability, but you don't see it enough for it to matter? Like Eater of the Dead. Like that wasn't actually an interesting card. I think it could have been more interesting.
Word of
like
returning.
Yeah, like Word of Return. Like those are like interesting niche cards that could have been better if they were just seen more. But yeah, this is one of those. No one's searching for this. So if you're like pair up against it, it is just coincidental that it is in their deck. Right.
Also, it is slightly worse than Furnace.
Oh, it's way worse than Furnace in that
Furnace
regard.
is like 100 times better than this card.
I could see them not wanting to put another purge card on common. I hope it's not the scrap ability that put it to rare. They're like, oh, we want to. There could be some ethos where they're like, we want to keep returning purge cards as a rare effect because like purge is supposed to be purged, and when purge becomes like secondary discard archive pile, it's a little silly.
I think they just make cards and then roll a dice and they decide that's the rarity. And then, like, if they get to 16 at common and uncommon, the rest just
Are you suggesting this may just be AI randomness?
Yeah, no, I think the cards
typically
would be better if AI made them.
typically what we've seen
Oh man!
is that
Shots
rare
fired.
cards, the meaning of rare just is the likability, you're going to see it in the deck. So most rare cards are typically what? Kind of like niche things that sometimes make a difference.
That was the original design.
That was
but I
originally,
think they had
it's
gone away
changed.
from that because
I
like
think this fits
originally
into
they
that
wanted
personally.
they wanted power cards to be like seen in
Common.
more decks. Hence they had the you had the isolated one of commons. Like that's why we saw library access all over the place because it was at common but triggered at one or limited at one. Just like bait and switch. Like that was one of my favorite parts of the original Coda set is that like most of the houses, except Brobnar, because they always hated Brobnar, had like one card that there could only be one of, but you saw it at common.
It was really
And it made
strong.
a difference.
And it generally was
Had a
like a
huge
game
impact.
altering until they nerfed two of them. So
Okay,
But,
is this the first elemental?
maybe?
I am bad with
maybe.
this stuff, but I don't remember seeing
Check.
elemental before.
I am not aware of an elemental creature.
Could we be
So-
getting an
And I'm-
elemental in each house?
Generally pretty good at that too. I would
Could
like to see
be.
like, the typical ones, like the Captain Planet ones, sure. That'd be fun.
All right, but
There are no other elementals currently.
Let's get
card
to the
is
next card,
interesting,
though.
but yeah, let's move on.
All right, next card up, Reckless. It is a Brobnar action.
Recklessness.
That is not the name of the.
Reckless. Sorry.
Don't be
Reckless.
reckless with our card names.
You said it wrong in the video
Recklessness.
too.
Did I really? What did I say?
Yes.
Oh, did
You
he?
said reckless.
Did I? Well,
Yeah.
recklessness is tough to say. Remember
Recklessness.
casual loop. Anyways,
Yes. I still have never heard anyone say the right name in person.
hey,
That's
here
okay.
we are. All right. Recklessness. Pip of Ember every time you play it. Enhanced. It gives you 1 pip of damage, 1 pip of discard scrap. Play.
Discard.
Each player
Enhancement.
discard. Thank you. Anybody else? You want to finish the card too?
No.
No? All right.
Brobnar.
Play. Each player discards 3 random cards from their hands, then draws 3 cards.
Shiny.
Shiny.
Don't say shiny.
Well.
Okay,
is-
Z,
We totally missed Moana.
is this a 6 on the Z score?
Well.
I think it is. This has
Wow,
got to be a
6.
6.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Why-
good, but it's
Why
a
is this
six,
a
I think.
6 on the Z score?
Because first of all, it is at common, so you'll see multiple of these things.
Okay.
It's got a raw amber on it. It's putting 2 different pips in your deck, and discard I think is probably the best pip that you can get in this set.
Yep.
I think discard is better than draw in a lot of ways as far as the way pips work.
Okay.
And furthermore, at common, so you're going to see like 2s and 3s of this thing.
we think.
Yeah, I guess it could be limited. But the fact that like you go into a turn, most of the time you're going to play 3 or 4 Brobnar cards. There we are starting to see more and more scrap, hopefully not all at rare like we just talked about. So like you go into your turn, you play your 3 cards, then you play Recklessness, or you play your 2 cards, you play Recklessness, you discard 3 random, which means that's the rest of your hand. 2 of those could have scrap effects, so you trigger the scrap effects, you do that, then we all draw our 3 cards, and then most likely you're drawing back into more Brobnar. Like this is one of the most efficient, effective cards we've ever seen out of almost any house, especially Brobnar. Like Brobnar is really bad at this type of thing. Typically, Sound the Horns is like the closest thing we
And
ever
it-
had, or hella fast. But this is like
It's hella
really, really
fast,
good.
not hella fast.
It's hella fast.
Hella fast is
It's hella
something
fast.
different.
Hella
If,
fast is
if you've
hella fast.
never played a deck with it, you might not know that it's just hella fast.
And this is disruption too.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's
Yeah.
Critical that this is also
It's great against
disruption.
combo. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, this is
fraud sees
Pure
that
value.
and it's just like going no don't do it to me.
yes, and yeah, like that's chat saying right now, it's uncommon. Like that is huge. That the fact is
Yeah.
this uncommon.
this-
Like it is somewhat sad if you get 2 in the hand at the same time, but like that it's gonna
Is
happen.
it
But
though?
that's like Eureka, but the Yerks in general, people agree Yerks are good cards. Now you
Yep.
get to select 2 cards you're discarding, and this is random, but generally you were playing Yerks in a way where you were trashing all your hand anyways and moving on, right? Because you play to play multiple cards from a thing, or you had a bunch of junk in your hand you just want to get rid of anyways, and this still does a good job of that.
The only negative I have on this versus some of the other ones,
and this is that.
Like, this is not a good first turn play, so like we've talked about that. Like, it's good to have like great cards to play when you're on the play. This is not that. You do not typically want to do this on the first turn.
What if I what if I have a handful of scrap abilities? Is it not still not as good? I mean,
well, from what we've seen, a lot of the scrap abilities affect the field. First turn, there's nothing on the field.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, a lot of the scrap, like there are not many scrap abilities that say scrap gain an amber. It's scrap stun a creature, scrap purge a card, return a card, right. And if there's nothing on the board, it is that. But it's still good.
You don't know.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
It's first player, if they're not mulliganing, it has that strength again. We're like, oh, let's trash that plan you had.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's very situational, I think. I mean,
well, I think this card is like, it's almost always good. Just
it's a mini punk.
It is half a punk.
Yes.
That you don't have to just stop.
Well, I wouldn't say it's half a punk, because if your opponent has more than 6 cards in hand, Punctuate Equilibrium still gets rid of that.
True.
Yeah, it doesn't do that. And yes,
I think seeing this at common is important, but I think seeing it with the goal of this set to be able to manipulate the discard pile for yourself and your opponent is something that cannot be overlooked.
This can force a draw, right? This can be like, ha, and now you draw, so there goes your haunted.
Yeah, that's a good point. This can unhaunt somebody. Yep.
I mean, like, the fact that it has the pip, just put it over the top. We're like, it's triple pips, triple things, and it's an effect that I rarely see me just saying I'm not gonna do this. I mean, but this card does like Punk, which is also like a 6-point card, right, in the Z system, I think.
Yep.
Like, there are times where it does get discarded. You're just like, yep, nope, not punking, and you go on, right? But in general,
I don't know. This one's real hard. Like, the way this works, it has the pip too. Like, it's gonna be really rare that this gets discarded.
And it really depends. If you have like 4 in a deck, you could hit almost library access like turns if you get lucky in the draw.
Yeah, it depends how crazy combo-y this stuff is, and that's and that's nice that they didn't say if you discard less than 3 cards, you draw less than 3 cards or some.
Yeah, the like straight up, like, because like even going into a turn where you're like flush, so you have like 5 Brobnar, like it's card, reckless, discard 1, draw 3, like that's an amazing turn. Like,
right, hopefully turn 1 or 2 more Brobnar cards and got a ton of efficiency.
That's
and Brobnar traditionally never had efficiency, so this helps there.
The only thing where there was Sound the Horns, which was actually a decent card. Like, that is a good card.
Maybe that is the actual downside of this card, is it's in Brobnar in this set, which we don't know if that's going to be. We don't know it's going to be Woe Brobnar. It could be.
Yeah, I mean, by the spoilers, we discussed that one combo that we found. Like, that combo is actually pretty fun.
I mean, like, Beanstalk has been spoiled, and Beanstalk is
fire, but that's a rare. Like, that's another one. Like, put that shit on common and make it limit 1. Let's go. I want to see it.
Wow. That's a bit.
I think that could have been an uncommon, but it's
guys. So like LA is common. LA is busted. It wins games all the time, even in the low world meta.
LA's
fraud is.
Now, like Beanstalk and things coming in ready and being able to search them means you could never have to leave that house.
Sounds great. That sounds like most WoW decks.
Okay, I might need that level of power to go.
Right.
I still want a card that lets me look at my opponent's hand and choose a card to discard.
Called Abyssal Sight.
Yeah, Abyssal Sight. Brain drain.
Almost like we have one.
More than that. Like, I wanted this to be like, look at your opponent's hand and choose 3 cards to discard. Maybe a little strong.
Wookie just wants a card that says your opponent discards their hand.
Where is that card? I mean,
you can find a way, like you can find a way to like reap loop on Toxin. That's a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it is, but not really.
Either way, that is our spoilers. We've already gone long. Winding
Yeah,
down.
this is true. I still got to edit
Bruce
this and
Willis-
get this out. So
Bruce Willis was dead. That's another spoiler. I had to
We
add.
haven't even hit 2 hours. Rookie
do you
numbers, as you guys say.
for a show that tries to keep it to an hour,
No,
That's only
something-
one. That's
yeah.
only one person trying to do that.
Yeah,
2, Ewok doesn't like us going long either.
yeah. 3, Sheep has to go to bed because he's old man old.
Well, that's only if you guys are being boring, which tonight was not boring.
Tonight you did most of the talking.
Tonight, Sheep got to rant.
I played no games of Keyforge.
Yeah, because you were
Good job,
you were
Sheep.
busy complaining.
Yep. That's because there was something worth talking about.
Yeah, I mean this is true. It's been a while since we've
I-
had some juicy stuff.
I think Dras did have one great idea after the bad idea of the key whatever
The
key
key
something
assaulter.
the key assaulter kit. Like if they add that, I will back that.
I'm
As a
waiting for the
community- a
key
community
second
leader
degree
kit
assault.
thing. I would be down for that.
First degree, I'm not too interested in, but second degree assault, that's what. I
That's
might
where the
back
good
that.
stuff is.
Second degree key assault.
Yeah, I might
We're
back
in.
that one.
Yeah, I'd like to see something. Let me,
I'm-
we talk about you want the people to be getting with the game stores to get them in, but the problem is there's nothing bringing the people to the game stores, so it's chicken or egg.
Yeah. Ewok, when they make it so you can add on pretty white decks or whatever they're going to be, I'll throw you some money because you're going to have to get me some. I do want some of them.
Pretty white
I
decks.
got you because I'm going to still take care of our community. That's why I'm here. I love our community.
You're
and
not taking care of the community though. You're taking care of GG.
Hey, if he wants to take care
JR
of
do
them,
not
it's
do that. If
okay.
he wants them, he needs them back.
Our community is right now 5 of us. It used to be 12. We used to have higher numbers. Store one another. Pandemic happened. Fine. But I enjoy 5 to 6 people who are coming out. It's a great group. I enjoy when I
One
can go
of
to the
them
vault.
is new to us.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Sid.
Mr. Perfect. He wasn't
Yeah.
around before.
yeah, he was, wasn't he?
No.
Nope, he was not a pre-pan. I think he moved to the area pandemic time. It'd be my guess, but I don't know. I don't know his backstory. And yes, Sid comes and joins us now because there are no other stores running anything.
Which is crazy. She's in Illinois, like right there by Chicago.
I know we have Chicago, Milwaukee, and there is
One store.
2.5 stores running stuff. There is one in Chicago that runs once a month. D House has a store they run something at occasionally, and then there's us. We have 11 billion people.
11 billion, huh? That's a number.
That's a fake number. That's how you make fake numbers.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people.
Taking notes on how to make fake numbers. Got it.
11. That's the
D-
number.
D billion. But that's gonna do it for us this week night. Again, thank you to GG for giving us the spoiler cards. Make sure you go check out the YouTube video. Make sure you check out the Game Found back if you so desire. What else am I forgetting? What do we got? We got Worlds coming
The
up.
Worlds.
Here.
We're
We got
gonna have a
Worlds
great
coming
group
up
there, yeah.
in a few weeks. Everybody's coming, but Southerly, because Southerly's a wuss.
Not
Yeah.
as much of a wuss as JM.
Southerly has family and
Yeah,
family.
bring your
first.
family to the event.
Listen, his brother's gonna
You
be
gotta
around.
commit, brother.
His brother's gonna be around for a long time. KFC 2 extra crispy is only once.
Family's one of those 3 demons. Like the
No,
rest
just
of us
bring
slayed ours.
them to Keyforge.
Is your
I-
family going to be there, Z?
No.
No, he slayed them.
No. But we'll see y'all there. Anything else? What did I miss? Did I miss anything?
We
May the
still try
Forge
to
be
play
with you.
Wednesday and Sunday nights online, so you can still play Keyforge online with us. That is still fun and happens.
Field.
Yep,
Ah.
sealed.
It's weird sealed. All right. With that being said, we'll see y'all next week.
Happy fortune, everyone.
May the
Put me
forge
in
be
the
with
game. Make me a card. Do it.
You love the game, support it.
Chemistry's changing, emotions rearranging. I'm out of my cage, breaking my spell. Think I might love my focused on the time, how I'm losing every minute. Gotta make a choice, gotta push it to the limit. Never felt better, never making an apology.